Welcome to Cloud AI. The Word of Nietzsche is a work of philosophical criticism by Martin Heidegger, one of the most significant and influential philosophers of the 20th century. This essay will explore the origins and influences of Heidegger's text, its central themes and arguments, and its impact on subsequent scholarship on Nietzsche's thought. The Word of Nietzsche is based on a series of lectures that Heidegger gave at the University of Freiburg in the winter of 1936–1937. These lectures were part of a larger series entitled Introduction to Metaphysics, and they were given during a period when Heidegger was exploring Nietzsche's philosophy in depth. Heidegger's interest in Nietzsche was not new, as he had already written extensively on Nietzsche's thought in his 1936 essay, Nietzsche's Word, God is Dead. However, the lectures on the Word of Nietzsche marked a significant shift in Heidegger's engagement with Nietzsche, as they represented an attempt to move beyond a straightforward exposition of Nietzsche's ideas and to explore the deeper implications for the nature of philosophy itself. The origins of Heidegger's interest in Nietzsche can be traced back to his earliest philosophical work. Heidegger's doctoral thesis, completed in 1913, was a study of the philosophy of Duns Scotus, a medieval theologian and philosopher. Heidegger was interested in Scotus's concept of being, and he saw this concept as a key to understanding the nature of philosophy itself. Heidegger's early work was heavily influenced by the Phenomenology of Edmund Husserl, and he saw philosophy as a discipline concerned with the investigation of the nature of being. Heidegger's interest in Nietzsche can be seen as a natural outgrowth of this early work. Nietzsche's philosophy, like Scotus's, is concerned with the nature of being, but Nietzsche approaches this question from a fundamentally different perspective. Whereas Scotus and other medieval thinkers saw being as a static and unchanging essence, Nietzsche saw being as dynamic and constantly changing. For Nietzsche, being is not something that can be grasped or understood through reason, but rather it is something that must be lived and experienced. Heidegger was attracted to Nietzsche's emphasis on lived experience, and he saw Nietzsche's philosophy as a challenge to the traditional philosophical approach of his time. Heidegger's interest in Nietzsche was also influenced by his engagement with the existentialist movement. Heidegger's own philosophy, which he developed in the 1920s and 1930s, was heavily influenced by existentialist thinkers like Søren Kierkegaard and Friedrich Nietzsche. Heidegger saw existentialism as a response to the crisis of modernity, a crisis that was characterized by a loss of meaning and purpose in human life. Heidegger believed that existentialism offered a way to overcome this crisis by emphasizing the importance of individual existence and personal experience. The Word of Nietzsche is a complex and challenging work, and it is difficult to summarize its central themes and arguments in a few paragraphs. However, there are a few key ideas that are central to Heidegger's analysis of Nietzsche's philosophy. The first key idea is that Nietzsche's philosophy is fundamentally concerned with the nature of truth. Nietzsche saw truth as a product of human language and culture, rather than as an objective reality that can be discovered through reason or observation. Heidegger builds on this idea, arguing that Nietzsche's concept of truth is rooted in a more fundamental concern with the nature of being itself. For Nietzsche, being is not something that can be grasped or understood through reason, but rather it is something that must be lived and experienced. Truth, in Nietzsche's view, is a product of this lived experience of being, and it is constantly evolving and changing as human culture and language change over time. Heidegger's second key idea is that Nietzsche's philosophy is a response to the crisis of modernity. Nietzsche saw modernity as a period of decline and decadence, characterized by a loss of meaning and purpose in human life. Heidegger sees Nietzsche's philosophy as an attempt to overcome this crisis by developing a new conception of philosophy that is rooted in lived experience and individual existence. Heidegger argues that Nietzsche's philosophy offers a way to overcome the nihilism of modernity by emphasizing the importance of individual experience and the creation of new values. A third key idea in the Word of Nietzsche is Heidegger's analysis of Nietzsche's concept of the will to power. Heidegger sees the will to power as the fundamental driving force behind human existence, and he argues that this concept is central to Nietzsche's philosophy. The will to power is not simply a desire for dominance or control, but rather it is a fundamental aspect of being itself. For Nietzsche, being is characterized by a constant struggle for power and self-overcoming, and the will to power is the engine that drives this process forward. Heidegger sees the will to power as a way of overcoming the nihilism of modernity, which he sees as a period of decline and decadence, characterized by a loss of meaning and purpose in human life. He argues that the will to power represents a way of affirming life in the face of this crisis, by emphasizing the importance of individual experience and the creation of new values. Heidegger's analysis of the will to power is closely linked to his concept of being in the world, which emphasizes the importance of lived experience and the embodied nature of human existence. He argues that the will to power is not simply an abstract concept, but rather it is a lived reality that is constantly unfolding in the world around us. He sees the will to power as a way of understanding the dynamic and creative nature of human existence, and as a means of overcoming the limitations of traditional metaphysical conceptions of being. Heidegger also emphasizes the importance of the concept of eternal recurrence in Nietzsche's thought, which he sees as closely linked to the will to power. Eternal recurrence is the idea that all events in the universe recur infinitely, and that every moment is an opportunity for self-overcoming and the affirmation of life. Heidegger sees eternal recurrence as a way of understanding the cyclical nature of the will to power, and as a means of affirming the importance of individual experience and the creation of new values. The Word of Nietzsche has had a significant impact on subsequent scholarship on Nietzsche's thought. Heidegger's analysis of Nietzsche's philosophy has been influential in shaping contemporary interpretations of Nietzsche's work, and it has inspired a new generation of scholars to explore Nietzsche's ideas in depth. One of the key legacies of the Word of Nietzsche has been its impact on the development of postmodern thought. Heidegger's emphasis on the importance of lived experience and individual existence has been a major influence on postmodern thinkers like Michel Foucault, Jacques Derrida, and Jean-François Lyotard. These thinkers have all drawn on Heidegger's analysis of Nietzsche's philosophy to develop their own critiques of modernity and to explore new ways of thinking about the nature of truth and reality. The Word of Nietzsche is a complex and challenging work that has had a significant impact on subsequent scholarship on Nietzsche's thought. Heidegger's analysis of Nietzsche's philosophy has inspired a new generation of scholars to explore Nietzsche's ideas in depth, and it has helped to shape contemporary interpretations of Nietzsche's work. The Word of Nietzsche is an important contribution to the ongoing debate about the nature of truth, the crisis of modernity, and the role of philosophy in contemporary society. It remains a vital and provocative work that continues to inspire new generations of thinkers and scholars. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to this channel.